3rd. And as a reminder, this is a public meeting and is being recorded. For those of you calling in, please ensure that your phone line is muted. Thank you. And I think we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance first, led by Commissioner O'Grady.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
So good morning and welcome, everyone. It is my great honor and privilege to introduce Franklin County residents to their first African-American female elected member of the Board of Commissioners. And at this time, I'd invite Judge Beatty Blunt to administer her oath of office.
Good morning, everyone. As the first Black judge on the 10th District Court of Appeals, it is my distinct pleasure to swear in the first Black woman elected to the county commissioners. And I treasure not only your service, but your friendship.
Oh, likewise, thank you.
If you could please raise your right hand. I state your full name,
I, Erica Christie Crawley,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
and uphold the Constitution
and uphold the Constitution
of the United States of America,
of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
execute the responsibilities
execute the responsibilities
and duties of the office
and duties of the office
of Franklin County Commissioner.
of Franklin County Commissioner.
Congratulations again.
Thank you. Tyler, you want to get a picture? Or-
It's the first Black for me, so.
I just want to say a few words before we start, recognizing a number of people and agencies for their outstanding work the past 2 weeks. Just want to take a few minutes to talk about this election and being elected as the first Black woman to the county commission. Try not to get emotional. I wore white today to continue to pay homage to the women who came before me, the suffragists who fought for enfranchisement for women voting more than 100 years ago, and not the ones who ended up gaining voting rights when the 19th Amendment was ratified, but those who continue to fight for voting rights, especially for Black women, who led the fight for voting rights, but then was not able to vote themselves in 1920. So I want to pay homage to those like Sojourner Truth, who gave a speech up in Akron in the 1850s that said, "Ain't I a woman?" to my favorite African-American trailblazer, Ida B. Wells, and then Mary Church Terrell, who coined the phrase, "Lift as we climb." And then also to pay homage to my sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, which is the first African-American Greek letter organization, and the visionary Ethel Hedgeman Lyles, who one of our tenets is to study and alleviate problems that girls and women face in order to improve their stature in society. And so, it is not lost on me that I would not be where I am today had it not been for those trailblazers. And this county was founded in 1803, and here we are in 2023 with the first woman of color ever elected in 220 years. So I will always remember Mary Church Terrell's words, lifting as I climb. I know will not be the last. And if I have anything to do with it, I'll make sure that not only will Black and brown girls who look like me see themselves in me, but across our agencies, and we've had this conversation not too long ago with one of our agencies, and when we talk about DE&I, and my colleagues and I have put forward another mission to make sure that all of our agencies are as diverse as they can be and reflect our community. But it makes a difference when little white boys can see themselves in my colleague, John O'Grady, or Black boys can see themselves in Commissioner Boyce, or they can see themselves as a sheriff, or they can see themselves as a prosecutor, or they can see themselves as my good friend who's in the audience, Cheryl Brooks Sullivan. Others can see themselves in leadership positions. It matters. And so I do not care that people are uncomfortable with the mission that me and my colleagues have set forward to continue to focus on DE&I and make sure that equity is one of our core tenets and that our agencies reflect that, not under just BOC agencies, but all 35 agencies throughout the county. So it is my distinct honor and a privilege, and I thank all of our neighbors in Franklin County who elected me to this position. I do not take it lightly. I am here to serve every resident every day and to make sure that every one of our neighbors have the same opportunities to thrive and not just survive. So thank you for putting me in this position. I will not fail, and I will not let you down. Thank you. So we would like to recognize and thank a number of agencies, and we're going to start with public facilities and management staff who were working in the middle of the night in freezing temperatures to shovel and plow out county facilities in the early mornings of Friday morning and over the weekend during the last storm that we had. I would like to turn to PFM leadership to introduce PFM staff in attendance this morning. And I know that we have the president of City Council, President Hardin, in here, and I know his team at the city and their road warriors were out there just as hard as our men and women at PFM. And so thank you for your leadership and for all of those out there, but also thank you to PFM. So I didn't know if our directors wanted to come up, but I know we have BOC snow fighters, James White, Delbert Palmer, Todd Dyer, and Larry Hamater. I hope I did not mess up your last name, and if I did, I apologize. And then Andrew Brinson, who is not present today. So
These gentlemen were out at 4 a.m. plowing snow, making sure that folks had access to the courthouse. So, guys, thank you, and coffee's on us. Darla and Vivian, do you guys want to say anything?
Really want to thank everyone.
Go to the microphone over there and do it.
We have a strong, hardworking team, and I think it really showed, really stepped up. It was, they were committed to creating a safe environment, and first had to get there themselves, and to do so in the weather that we saw at 4 a.m. both Thursday and Friday, and on a holiday week, to really ensure that county staff and visitors stayed safe. Just amazing. So appreciate you recognizing them.
absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
I just want to say that some of my staff that are standing here, James White just started with us. He's been here 90 days. Phenomenal employee. Delbert's been with us a few years. Todd's been with us a long time. Larry has been recently promoted quite a few times based on his capabilities and how he manages the staff. But I'm telling you, when I go home every day, I couldn't do any of this work without this staff. And that's just not for the snow removal. That's for being on the call of duty when our pipes burst or anything. It's all hands on deck. So I thank the commissioners for recognizing them. They are phenomenal. And when there's only a few, they work together like we have 10 people. I don't worry about what they do. It's how they do it. And I know they have this new branded name called the
Snow Fighters.
Snow Fighters. But I really just want you all to know that not only do they take care of all of you in this building, but they take care of the outside to make sure you're all safe. So please just give them another hand. And Larry is the supervisor of, actually, right now, Larry's wearing a couple of hats. He's the supervisor over landscaping, maintenance, and just recently has been promoted to a TWL as a building manager, so.
One thing, Commissioners, if I may, Deputy County Administrator Chris Long, I want to also express my thanks to the PFM team. They indicated this morning that they just thawed out, so welcome to being thawed out from the weekend. And Commissioners, if you would be open to this, we'd love to take a picture with them up front as well. So thank you.
And Commissioners, if we can also quickly mention and thank our housekeepers, our carpentry team, our maintenance team, because in addition to the snow, actually on Christmas Day, we had a flood, which I think you would never even notice occurred in the hallway and in this room from a pipe bursting, and made that all happen on a holiday weekend as well with a lot of team efforts.
And we had many staff that showed up. So that's what I'm saying, they go above and beyond. So
Thank
couldn't do it
you.
without.
Thank
Next, I would like to recognize and thank the Health and Human Services staff members who have gone above and beyond over the last week to assist fellow residents who had to leave their homes in Sawyer Towers. I would like to turn some remarks over to Deputy County Administrator Joy Bivens to introduce and recognize the county team. Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. Joy Bivens, Deputy County Administrator of Health and Human Services for Franklin County. I think it's fitting to say this. One of your sorors, Commissioner Crawley, said, find people who make you better. Michelle Obama. Find people who make you better. And I'm going to ask everyone who represents the Health and Human Services team to please come and stand before the audience, because these people make me better every day. They make Franklin County better. They are selfless. We got a phone call on Christmas that there were residents being evacuated from Sawyer Tower, and I just started sending out text messages on Christmas, like 19.2 billion of them. Many of them responded. They showed up. They climbed 14, 12, 10 steps of stairs. Don't let Laura Paskey hear me say that. So that residents could leave their home and then be rehoused to temporary housing. Many of them showed up in ways that I did not even imagine. And I'll hate to go down the row and try to single out people, so I'm not going to do that. All I'm going to do is say thank you. Thank you to every director. Thank you to every deputy director. Thank you to every staff person. Thank you for every hug that you gave to a resident, every hand that you held, every baby that you comforted, every senior. Every senior that you walked alongside of. Our seniors are our matriarchs and patriarchs of our community, and we have to take care of them. And I saw you all show up for them in ways that I just cannot imagine. And it was beyond your job description. It was beyond the job description. You know, you got up early in the morning and you stayed with me until 8, 9 o'clock. You know, Director Pride, I looked at her and I said, hey, I need you to put the volunteer group together. She could have turned to me and said, wait a minute, I'm a director. That's not what I do. She said, no problem. Shonda put together the food. Director Ringo put together the food for the residents. Thank you for that. Michelle Lindenboom and Chief Administrator Vivian Turner, every time I called them, text them, 6 o'clock in the morning, say, these are things that we need to do. Vivian's calling Bessa. Michelle's showing up and doing the things that she needs to do so this all works. And then all of you. You know, Director Brown, thank you. Thank you for pulling your team together and all that you do. Thank you, Caroline, for jumping on that bus every time. Thank you, all of you. I'm going to miss you. Thank you, Deputy Dillard, for making sure that mobile unit was there and was present. Thank you, Cheyenne, for keeping track of how many people were there. And I just, you know, everyone kept texting me, like, what's going on? How many people do we have? I had no idea. Thank you. Thank you to the animal shelter for housing the animals. Thank you to the Humane Society. Thank you to everyone. If I missed you, please charge it to my head and not my heart. This was a really tough task emotionally, and I do not take that for granted. Many of you, again, moved past what your job description stated, and you moved with your heart. And I do not take, and the commissioners do not take that for granted. You make Franklin County better. I wish we could duplicate many more of you. And thank you for serving in such a compassionate, in such a willing and diligent way. And for those of you who came off of your vacations to come in and do this, that lets me know that you care more about people, you care more about service than anything else. So thank you. Thank you, commissioners.
I want to, before, because I want Commissioner O'Grady and I to take a picture with you all. I can't say thank you enough, and I feel like thank you is inadequate for what you all did last week. It was emotional. It was overwhelming. As Deputy County Administrator Bivens said, you know, it made a difference for people to see you there. The hand holding that you absolutely did. Director Wingo, getting my good friend now, my bestie, Mr. Anthony, a new walker who was out there with just 3 wheels trying to make it happen, right, for himself and his wife to get resources. And you took him a new walker that day. If I'm ever in the trenches,
Right.
if I'm ever in a clutch situation, I want you all there with me, because I know that we gonna ride and we gonna make it happen, and that we are gonna make sure that every resident has what they need to. In a scary situation, I can't even imagine having to leave everything, all of my possessions and my belongings, and have no idea if I'll ever get them back. It is a scary situation. And so thank you. I was supposed to be on vacation last week. You all were supposed to be on vacation, and it was a phone call, and it was no hesitation. Thank you. I also want to thank Jason Jenkins, and I know he's in this audience. Jason, who is point for the city. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Like the resources that he was able to just call and bring together, code, the police, the fire, I mean, the Columbus Humane Society with our animal shelter. I mean, we don't see this all the time with other counties and cities who work in a harmonious way, but what we were able to accomplish last week would not have been able to go off without a hitch, without your leadership, Jason. And so I just want to say thank you to you for that leadership and for your presence. Tierra Ross, oh my gosh, too.
Yeah.
You got the attorney out there knocking on doors with me and our team, trying to, you know, tell people what the situation is and how they have to leave. She didn't have to do that, and she did. And so thank you, Tierra. Also, Director Jeff Young, who made the phone call to Deputy County Administrator Bivens on Sunday and activated her to get this together. But we have a long road ahead of us. Our residents are in temporary housing, working on permanent housing, but they need food, they need clothing, they need help with transportation, childcare. So anyone who's in the audience or those who are listening, if you want to go to the county's website, there are ways for you to get involved. But I just want to say, I know thank you is not adequate, and I know for Deputy County Administrator Bivens, she wouldn't have been able to do it without her partnership with Jason. And so, you know, you all are phenomenal, and you make it easy to come to work and do the work that we do. Service, progress, and excellence is what we saw last week. Thank you.
So, you know, I'm always amazed at, we sit up here all the time and we talk about the budget time, or whenever we see you guys, we talk about how great all of you are and how much you make county government what county government's all about. And then last week happened, and it was, just so evident every day, every minute last week of, what you guys are all about and what county government's all about. And Christmas, I was sitting at home, kids are opening presents, and the phone goes off, and my wife looking at me like, giving me the eyes, sitting on the couch, and she's giving me those eyes, like, what are you doing? Why are you on your phone while the kids are opening presents? And then I handed her my phone, and she looked at it, and she handed me my phone back, and she knew. And so then my daughter says, Dad, what are you doing? And then my wife talks to her, so nobody said anything, and I went down to the kitchen, and I'm on my phone. And all I could think about was the families that were being impacted. And all I thought about was you guys. And how, here we are, sitting at home with our families having Christmas, and you guys aren't. You guys got up and went and did your jobs. You guys went and took care of the families that needed taken care of. And, so when I came down to Dodge to give you guys all a hug, because, I was so proud of who you were and what you did on behalf of those folks, on behalf of the people who needed all the services that we provide every day. Because you guys are the ones that administer those services. You guys are the ones who were out there hugging the people who needed to be hugged. And it's, now here we are, week and a half later, and they still need our help. And they're still gonna need our help. And we still have to figure out what we're gonna do with Sawyer. And where these people are gonna live. And who's gonna help them. And so, whether you're guys sitting over here that were out doing their job every day, shoveling snow and making sure people could come to the courthouse, or whether you were at Sawyer climbing steps and knocking on doors, or, getting on the bus, counting the heads, and, making sure you're taking care of the pets, or whatever you're doing. I mean, this is what we do every day. And this is why we do it, and, this, I don't understand how people think there's a better job in this world than what we do every day for these
We got a great
folks.
gig, yeah.
And, so you guys are, this is just proud of you guys every day. Every time I, put on that text message how proud I am of you, we weren't kidding. She wasn't kidding, I'm not kidding, Commissioner Boyce isn't kidding. The stuff that you guys do every day on behalf of the residents of this county is phenomenal. No matter what your job is, no matter what your title is, what you do on behalf of the residents of Franklin County, and no matter what Jason does on behalf of the residents of the city of Columbus. We are proud of you every day. So thank you. Thanks for all you do.
Thank you. And we got a picture.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So it's time for me to pass over these reins. So the first item on the agenda is Board of Commissioners.
Resolution number 1-23, resolution electing the president of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners for the 2023 term of the board.
All right. I nominate Commissioner John O'Grady to serve as president of the Board of Commissioners for 2023.
Well, since it appears as though I'm going to have to second that.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
I guess.
Resolution
If I
number
have to.
1-23 has been adopted. Congratulations.
All right.
I didn't know if we move seats now or not.
Do we have to move seats? I mean,
that's
It's up to you.
we'll do
Mr.
that. We'll do
President?
that. I think our names are still out here. I
Okay,
think
we-
we'll do that next week.
Okay.
Let's stay where we are. Just a couple of words before we get going, if that's okay. You know, Commissioner Crowley was speaking earlier, and she was talking about, you know, all the things that shaped her and all the people that shaped her. And, you know, I went to Ohio Dominican University, and I didn't start out to seek out a Catholic education, but I got one. My parents sent me to Catholic school, and then I chose Ohio Dominican University. And St. Dominic was a believer in lifelong education. And so the nice thing about learning at a school where they teach and preach about lifelong education is I get to sit here all the time, and I get to learn from people who teach me every day. And certainly Commissioner Crowley challenges me every single day, as does Commissioner Boyce. But I've been saying since the minute she showed up last summer, the summer of 2021, that she has been pushing me and pushing me and pushing me. I got to spend all my time keeping up with Commissioner Crowley. And so she is, you know, the epitome of me chasing after someone. She is like the little sister I never had. I'm the youngest of 12 kids. Always wondered what it would be like to have a little sister. This is my little sister. And she is so much smarter than me. It's not funny. So, in the spirit of St. Dominic, this is my pursuit of lifelong learning every day when I'm here, Commissioner Crowley. So, over the weekend, my wife and I were out of town, and we did a lot of driving, and I was thinking about, you know, and I've been thinking about for a while what it is that 2023 ought to be like for the Board of County Commissioners. And, you know, there's three of us, so no one of us ever gets to set the agenda. And so I don't think, you know, that it's a big secret to anybody that our agenda ought to look like the three of us. And there's, you know, we have our 6 core principles. But the things that we've all been working on, and I think we will continue to work on for 2023, are obviously affordable housing. Affordable housing is probably our single biggest issue. In Franklin County, it's the single biggest issue in every major urban area and frankly in every rural area in the United States. We talk to county commissioners all over the state, all over the country, all the time. And affordable housing is the issue that all of us are dealing with. It's certainly something that Commissioner Crowley, Commissioner Boyce, and I talk about all the time, something that we work on. Childcare is also another issue. It's certainly an issue that's near and dear to Commissioner Crowley's heart, but it goes hand in hand with everything that we do. Workforce and workforce development is another issue, and workforce and childcare literally go hand in hand, as does affordable housing. Now, all of these issues go hand in hand. Broadband is another one, and then transportation. And I think if you think about all of those issues, you understand that those are literally hand-in-glove issues that we can't, you know, handle one without the other. We can't do one without the other. You can't have a reason, have a good, strong workforce without affordable housing. You can't have a good, strong workforce without childcare. You can't have a good, strong workforce without transportation. You can't have a good, strong workforce without broadband. And the other one, the last one would be education. So these are all issues that we've been working on and that we're going to continue to work on in 2023. So, I guess when I was thinking about this, I figured people were going to want me to say something. So that's my something. And enough of that. You guys all know, I think, after all these years that I've been here, that I'm very, very light on ceremony. And I don't, generally want to do these things or be, So let's move on with the agenda now. We will begin with the prosecuting attorney.
Resolution number 2-23. Resolution authorizing the execution of the pre-award conditions and future acceptance of a 2022 American Rescue Plan Act grant from the Ohio Office of Criminal Justice Services.
Good morning, Commissioners. Janine Hummer, representing G. Gary Tyx, prosecutor for Franklin County, and Happy New Year to everyone. First of all, I want to thank both county administration and the county commissioners for allowing this resolution to come forward during your organizational meeting. We appreciate the kindness and indulgence to allow us to meet deadlines that are associated with this grant. As the commissioners know, that with every grant, there are several steps before you actually receive the funds. In April of 2022, the prosecutor's office applied for grant funds from the state related to ARPA funds. We did receive notice of what we consider a pre-award of funds, but in order to complete the process, we have to complete a number of steps. The one is to complete the precondition application that includes a signature or authority of the county to move forward. Once that precondition application is accepted and approved by the state, there will be a formal award that the county commissioners will need to accept. This resolution accomplishes both: to complete the precondition award forms and to accept the grant funds once that the state approves it. With that, we'd ask that the commissioners approve this resolution allowing this matter to go forward.
Absolutely. If there's no comments or questions, I move for approval of Resolution 2-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 2-23 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you, Janine. The purchasing department.
Resolution number 3-23. Resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $114,551,276.95.
Good morning, Commissioners, and Happy New Year to everyone. Megan Perry Balanier, Director of Purchasing. Today I'm presenting to you the first PO resolution of 2023. As a reminder, the first few PO resolutions each January are much larger in PO quantity and dollar value relative to those presented throughout the remainder of the year. To briefly explain, at the end of each fiscal year, the County Auditor's Office closes all open purchase orders. Agencies then must open new POs at the beginning of the next fiscal year. It's important to note that these encumbrances are, in many cases, for budgeted costs that will be spread over the 12 months of 2023, including, for example, approved construction contracts, utilities, appointed counsel fees, postage, or costs for various agency programs. With that said, the resolution before you requests your approval of 461 purchase orders for which the county auditor has pre-certified available funding. Pending any questions, Commissioners, I request your approval of this resolution.
Thank you. If there are no comments or questions, I move for approval of Resolution 3-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 3-23 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you, Megan. The Board of Commissioners, we have a public hearing for Resolution 4-23. Can the clerk please read the public hearing?
Resolution accepting and approving the retirement and reemployment of County Administrator Kenneth N. Wilson.
All right, I'd like to open the public hearing for this resolution. Is there anyone here who would like to speak on this public hearing? All right, seeing none, I would like to close the public hearing and have the clerk read the resolution into the record.
Resolution number 4-23, resolution accepting and approving the retirement and reemployment of County Administrator Kenneth N. Wilson and designating Kristen J. Long, Acting County Administrator.
Good morning, Janine Hummer, Franklin County Prosecutor's Office, again, representing this resolution to the commissioners. As the commissioners know, there are 3 steps that occur with this resolution. One is to accept the resignation of the current county administrator, Kenneth Wilson. Last day of employment will be today. This resolution also reemploys the former county administrator to the position of county administrator, effective on February 1st. During that period of time where the county administrator, Kenneth Wilson, is not here, you will be appointing an acting county administrator, and that will be Chris Long, who is currently the deputy county administrator. I want to assure the commissioners that their statutory requirements for a reemployment of a retiree have been met under the Ohio Revised Code, and all notices that are required to be published were published. If you have no further questions, we'd ask for approval.
I do have a question. Have we ever had a woman county administrator?
Commissioners, I don't believe so.
I think there's a need for a picture.
If we did, it was a long, long time ago, because I can remember county administrators back to like at least the early 80s, late 70s. Never in that period of time. And I can't imagine anybody made a county administrator before then that was a woman. So I would think that Chris Long is our first woman county administrator.
Hey, woo!
Here's 2.
I love it. I love it. Did you want to say something?
Is there a motion to move to approve?
Oh,
Oh, she was gonna speak
I'll
first?
make a motion after.
Oh, my apologies,
Well,
Commissioner.
I certainly appreciate and am humbled and honored by the trust that the 2 of you and the 3 of you have in me to serve as acting county administrator, and look forward to continue to implement the priorities of this board, every resident, every day. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. If there are no further comments or questions, I move for approval of Resolution 4-23.
Second,
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
yes.
Resolution number 4-23 has been adopted.
Well, I've known Chris Long for a long time, and it's great to.
And you still talk to me, Commissioner. That's good.
I guess this means I'm gonna have to meet with you at least twice a week now.
Starting today. Commissioner
doesn't
Crowley
count.
is in that group, too.
That doesn't count the number of times you're gonna butt in there with other people's meetings too. Well, I'm looking forward to it, at least for a month, you know. Anyway, if there's no other business come before the board, do we have any media that would like to ask questions? Seeing none, I guess that, do we have any journalizations?
We do
Madam
not.
Clerk? All right, well, I guess that ends our business for today. See everybody next week.
We just setting records, making.